Okay, so now I'm going to build what I designed here using the exact measurements that I have here. And you may or may not end up using measurements that you wrote down to build your creation. Okay, and if you don't find the cardboard that's in the size that you need, you could change your dimensions. You can change your drawing to suit what it is that you were able to find. Okay, but I have found, let's see. I'm going to use this box for the big sides. Okay, so I know that it's going to be 32 inches across. I'm going to use a yardstick. And let's see, I know it needs to be 28 tall. Okay, so that's just about all the way to the top. And I think there's an extra inch here. I'm just going to leave that inch there. So it's not going to be exactly 28. It's going to end up being 29.5 inches, and that's fine. On the other side, however, it's going to be 16 inches tall. So I'm going to start from the bottom, and I'm going to measure 16 inches tall. And then I'm going to make a line. There we go. Okay, so I have my line for my side there. And I have a couple different cutting tools. Okay, so I do have scissors. Okay, and you've all used scissors before, and they work okay. Okay, but it could be a little difficult to cut cardboard with scissors. So here's a tool that I found called a clever cutter. And I think this works even easier than scissors. It works just like a letter opener, if you've ever used a letter opener. And I want to point this away from myself, okay, and away from other people. So I don't want to cut towards me. I don't want to cut towards my neighbors. I want to cut sideways away from anyone. Okay, and I'm just going to grab it right here, and I'm going to slice like that. And I know that this edge needs to be cut because I'm going to have two sides. Like that. Okay, and then I'm going to cut along this line here. Just like that. And if it is not that easy for you to cut with this, you can ask a teacher for help. But you should have your lines drawn so that the teacher knows where to help you cut. Okay, now I know I want the same dimensions on the other piece of cardboard, so I'm just going to trace with the pencil right here. And then I should be able to do the same thing. And I'm going to cut this side apart. If the cardboard is bunched up, it's overlapping, it's going to be a little more difficult. You might need the scissors just for that part. Now, where I have these two flaps here, and this bends, I don't want it to bend there. I want it to be sturdy, so I might need to use some tape here. So I'm going to start with my duct tape right there. Okay, so here's my roll of duct tape. Duct tape rips very easily. I'm going to rip off a piece, and I'm going to tape this seam here, this gap. And I can do the same thing on the other side, and it'll make it even sturdier. I'm going to take my cardboard scraps, and I'm going to put them back with the other cardboard so that if other students need smaller pieces, they're able to use it. And actually, maybe I'll use one of these for my basketball hoop. Okay, I have two of my sides. The sides that are connecting those are going to be 12 inches wide. And I have one that's 12 inches wide and 16 inches tall. And then I have one that's 12 inches wide, and then it needs to connect to the back, and it's 28 inches tall. Okay, so this piece of cardboard I want 12 inches wide by 16 inches tall. So I'm going to need to cut that. What I did was I marked 12 inches marked 12 inches from this edge to here, and I made a mark. And then I marked 12 inches from this edge to here, and I made a mark. Then I want to connect those lines. So now I'm using the ruler, now I'm using the yardstick to draw a straight line. I'm not using it to measure it at the moment here. I'm just making a straight line that connects those two marks. Okay, so now I know that from this edge to this line is 12 inches, no matter where I measure it from. Okay, and now I want to cut that with the clever cutter. Just like that. Okay, so now I know that I needed that 12 inches wide, and then I need it 16 inches tall. So again, here's how I do that. This side's a little bit better than this side, so I'm going to start from down here. Got to measure from 0 down here to 16 inches, make a mark. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. 16 inches, make a mark. I'm going to use this as a straight edge now to connect those two marks together. Okay, so now. Okay, so that's 16 by 12, and that's going to be this edge, which I'm going to attach together pretty soon as I make the back edge. The back edge needs to be, the back edge needs to be 12 inches wide by 28 inches tall. 12 inches wide, it's a little wider than that. Okay, by 28 tall. I'm sure I can do 28 tall. I'm going to cut this right here so I can lay it out flat. And I know I have more than I need here, so I'm going to cut. And I'm going to set this big piece aside. So to make 12 wide, I'm going to start at the edge, and I'm going to measure 12 inches. I'm also going to make another mark that's 12 inches, about halfway up. Okay. And I'm going to connect those two lines by using this yardstick as a straight edge. I'm going to connect those two marks. Okay, and then I need a 28 tall. So now I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm going to measure to 28. And then I'm going to use this as a straight edge to connect those two lines. And then I'm going to use the clever cutter to cut there, and then cut there. If it's giving me a little trouble, I'm going to start it with the scissors. And go all the way up. There we go. So here's a scrap. Okay, so now I think I can connect to this whole thing. So here's how I will do that. I'm going to do one edge at a time. Okay, I'm going to use my tape to connect this edge together. About that big. And this is where it helps to have someone else hold this together while one person lays the tape down. Okay, and then I have a nice hinge there. Now I'm going to do this edge. And again, it would help if there was someone who could hold this. Okay, now I should be able to stand this up. Maybe before I construct the back side, maybe I want to make the basketball hoop. So in order to do that, I want to find something round that I can trace. And you know what? I actually could use this roll of duct tape and trace the inside and the outside. Okay, there it is. But I need to attach it with something. So I'm not just going to cut out the circle. Okay, I'm actually also I'm going to make my lines like this. So now I can cut this out. For something this small, it might be better to use scissors. Okay, and then how do I cut this out? I think the best way to do this is make sure your fingers aren't behind it. Stab it in the middle. And then cut out towards the edge. Easier. Actually, if I make lines all the way around out towards the edge, it'll be even easier to cut. Okay, so now I can bend it and cut like that. And now once I get one piece out, it'll be easier to go all the way around. So there we go. Now to attach this, maybe I want to bend it right here and attach it like this. Okay, but then it's going to flop down like this. So I have another idea. I'm going to make a flap in the middle here. So then I can bend two flaps in one direction and one flap in the other direction. And then I can tape it like that. And I could use duct tape for that. However, there is another tool that I want to offer you. And so I'm going to show you how to use that tool for this. OK, this right here is called a paper fastener, or it's also sometimes called a brad. Okay, and it's used to poke holes in papers. And then once you bend these, it'll keep those together. So we're going to use this to keep cardboard together. So remember, we want to do this safely. Okay, so this cardboard is a little thick for that, and it's just going to bend this. So instead, I have a really long nail here. Okay, it's not all that sharp, but it's going to make it easy to poke right through there. Make sure your fingers are not behind it, and I'm just going to poke a hole through there. Okay, and then all I do is take the brad, and I go through both of those holes, so it's coming out the back, and then I just bend that. And I'm going to do another one, and then I'm going to bend it. Okay, so I'm almost ready to attach this back side, but there was a top that is set down into this, so I think I want to find that piece first. And I don't have an exact measurement for that, but I can estimate that it's going to be 12 inches wide, and the bottom is 32 inches wide. And this is slightly slanted, so it's going to be slightly longer than 32 inches. It might be 33 inches. So I'm going to look for one that's 33 or 34 inches long. Very sturdy. Sometimes if I hold this here and start pushing, it may not have enough power that way, but if I just try to do it, if I put it in place and then I do it really quickly, it might do it easier, like that. Maybe not as straight, but it'll be easier to get through the cardboard. I don't want to start it up here and then slice like that. I want to start it exactly where I'm going to start slicing. So now I know that this is going to line up right here on this edge, or I can make it a little lower if I wanted to. If I wanted the ball to roll down and stop, I can give it a little edge right here. So maybe I'll do that. I'll give it a little edge so the ball stops rolling. I'm going to put half of it on the edge, but I'm leaving half of it off of the edge. Okay, so I'm going to turn this around real quick so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I want to tape it maybe an inch below the top edge, like that. Okay, and now I was expecting this to go all the way to the edge, but it didn't. So it didn't turn out exactly the way I planned it, but that's okay because this will still work. I can just set this in a little bit and I can attach it like this. So this is where it helps to have some people hold this for you. I think I'm going to put some duct tape on the edge there. Okay, so now I can tape these edges. Half of it on this edge, and then I'm going to hold this back while I put this up to it, and then I'm going to press that on so that holds. Make sure it's standing straight, and then I'm going to press that into the edge. And I'll turn this around. Let's see what we have. Okay, I think we have some gaps here that we need to seal. So and one on that side. And if you want, make a sign on paper for your game. You can tape it to the front. That's my game, and it all started with some drawings. Once you're done building, I can think of at least 3 things you need to do to clean up your area. Number 1 is put the tools away where the tools go. Number 2 is take all the reusable cardboard and put it with the cardboard that can still be used. And number 3 is take any scraps of tape or scraps of cardboard and throw those away. Good luck and happy building.